The MCU has some of the best movie franchises, and today we're going to stop and rank all 7 MCU Marvel franchises. Before I give you guys my thoughts, let me know your guys' thoughts on all 7 MCU franchises. Now, before I get into it, disclaimer, I'm not going to be counting Captain Marvel, Black Panther, or Doctor Strange in this ranking because they only have one film. You at least need to have 2 films or more to be considered a franchise. So without further ado, let's get into it. Coming in last place is going to be the Thor franchise. Now, I actually really dig and love Thor Ragnarok in the film. Taika Waititi put a perfect, fun spin to that film. He made a very funny, unique comedy film with pretty great action, great comedy, and Chris Evans bringing one of his best performances as this character. But Thor and Thor the Dark World, Thor is a film that I think has some good things. The fish out of water storyline at times can be very funny. Some action sequences are good. The casting's really great. Kind of the more mythical aspects of that film I really enjoy. But I found the romance to be bland, not really interesting. I find most of the jokes to be dull. And I find this film just to be one of the more lower aspects of the MCU. Thor the Dark World might be the worst in the MCU because there's some really good stuff. Loki is the highlight of that film. He steals the show. Thor's also really good in the film. But the Dark Elves and the plot with them isn't really that great. Even his mother dying, which should have peak emotion, you don't really feel much because they didn't really set up these characters as much as I would like. Even though I love Thor Ragnarok, the first 2 Thors are a lower spectrum to me. Coming in at number 6, I have the Ant-Man 2 films. I love the first Ant-Man. Truly, it's one of my favorite MCU films, and I know that sounds like a bit, but I think it's super fun. Paul Rudd is perfect as this character, has really great jokes and comedy and heist. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'm the opposite of people. A lot of people said it's better than the first. Now, to me, it's one of the weaker MCU films. Paul Rudd is still really good. There's some really great shrinking aspects during with the action. Hope is really good as the Wasp. But I found the storyline to be extremely weak, and I find the villain to be maybe more interesting than the one from the first one, but not being as memorable. I found Ghost to be pretty uninteresting villain at times, and really not really have that kind of charm that I was really hoping. So that's why it comes at this spot. Coming in at number 5, I have the Iron Man franchise. Now, Iron Man 1 and 3, perfect. Yep, Iron Man 3 I like better than Iron Man. Sue me, but really, I love Iron Man 3. I think it's fantastic. It's great. Iron Man's also really good, but Iron Man 2 suffers this film for me. I think it's extremely bad. The plot line, the story, the structure, the way they decided to build up. Iron Man is great. It has great action, story, pacing, characters. Iron Man 3, my favorite Iron Man film. Robert Downey Jr. gives a great performance. I don't mind the Mandarin twist. I think it's a really good twist. There's some great action sequences. There's great relationships. But Iron Man 2, the action's pretty good. The highway fight between Tony Stark and Whiplash, great. Whiplash, design-wise, even though not super practical, still a really fun design overall. The story, though, the storyline, there's just too much going on. There's too many plot lines colliding that you can't really get into this film as much as I think I would want to. So that's why it's coming at the number 5 spot. Coming in at number 4, I have Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, Guardians 1 is one of my favorite MCU films. Guardians 2, one of my favorite MCU films. I know Guardians 2 gets a lot of hate. Guardians, I think I definitely do like Guardians 1 better than Guardians 2, definitely. Guardians has great humor, characters, pacing. It's great comedy. Guardians 2 is much more, it has really great jokes and still really great action sequences and the visual effects. The visuals in Guardians 2 are some of the best in the entire MCU. But it's much more character-driven, and I don't think that's what people were really expecting. I think they're expecting a very action-packed movie with explosions and characters, and while you definitely do get that, It's a much more character film. We get a lot more character build up. We get a lot more character motives, and that's really what I think this film does well. And really, before I give you guys my top 3, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. What is your ranking of all 7 MCU franchises? And if you guys like this video, you guys can check out some other videos. I have other rankings. I have a Jumanji ranking. I have a DC ranking. So I have other rankings on the channel. If you guys like that video, you'll probably like those videos of there. Coming in at number 3, I have Spider-Man, the Spider-Man Tom Holland franchise. This was really hard to put this at number 3 because Spider-Man is my favorite MCU character, but come on, these films are great. Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, top 5 MCU. Seriously, Spider-Man Far From Home is amazing. The more I watch it, Spider-Man Homecoming is great as well, but the more I watch Spider-Man Far From Home, the more I love it. Spider-Man Homecoming is a very fun teen comedy. It shows Peter, and I love seeing the life of a high schooler. But Spider-Man Far From Home has great action. Jake Gyllenhaal is great as Mysterio. In my opinion, Mysterio, I think Michael Keaton gives a better performance, but I definitely do like Mysterio more as a villain than Vulture. But still, I think Michael Keaton definitely does get the better performance out of the two, Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Keaton. I definitely think Michael Keaton gives a better performance than Gyllenhaal. But really, Tom Holland's performance in that film is great. The message, kind of going through different areas. We're not just in New York. It's the first Spider-Man film where we're not in New York, so that's pretty great. And overall, those films are they're not perfect films. They definitely have flaws, especially Spider-Man Far From Home. But still, they're one of the best. Coming in at number 2, I have the Captain America franchise. Now, easily the worst in this film is Captain America: The First Avengers. But to be honest, Captain America: The First Avengers is my favorite in Phase 1, I think. Besides the Avengers, I think it might be my favorite in Phase 1. But that film's great. It has action sequences. But Captain America: The Winter Soldier is amazing. The Russos, the first one that the Russos did, the action sequences are insane. The story, the pacing, everything. Captain America: Civil War brought the characters together in a different way. They're punching each other. They're battling each other, the different ideologies between Steve and Tony. People don't really like this film that much because they think it's more of an Avengers film. This is definitely a Captain America film. Easily one of the most impactful film in any superhero film ever is Steve versus Tony. Yes, the airport sequence is a lot of fun, but this one's more of a personal battle that I love. So coming in first place, I have the Avengers franchise. Now, Avengers Endgame is my favorite MCU film ever. I love Avengers Endgame. It's so perfect. The way they tie everything together, the way the story builds together. Avengers Infinity War, also great. Action sequences, story. Josh Brolin's portrayal of Thanos is amazing. Avengers Age of Ultron, still really great. I still really enjoy it. End of the first Avengers is really awesome, camp, cheese, fun. What the Avengers franchise did, it's literally the magnum opus. Avengers Endgame is an emotional story with great action. Avengers Infinity War is just everything you would want from a movie like that. Avengers Age of Ultron definitely has some problems, and Avengers is the first Avengers, really is what made the MCU what it is today, and that's why I can't have it at number 1. So those were my ranking of all 7 MCU franchise. If you guys want to see more ranking videos like this on the channel, please leave a like. Really will help with this channel a ton. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I post on this channel every single day, so if you like this video, you'll probably like more videos on the channel. You guys can check out my podcast, the 2 Peas in a Pod podcast, I do every single Tuesday morning with a friend of mine. The one that came out today is about the ranking of the Pirates films. That was a lot of fun, so if you haven't checked it, I'll leave a link down in the description. You guys can also check out my Instagram, my general_Daniel77. I don't post that much on there. I should really start getting more into it. If you can follow me if you want. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, guys, I'll see you guys next time. General out.